Hello and welcome to this oral history project, I Am IUN. My name is Marlen Perez, and today I have the honor of interviewing a student here at IU Northwest, Nadine. Nadine, if you could do me the favor whenever you're ready to introduce yourself, the year you're in, and your major.
Okay. Hi, I'm Nadine Batista. I am a freshman here, and my major is kind of to be determined. I just applied to the nursing program, but I've been praying about it. So if it's God's will, I will get in. If not, I'm probably gonna switch my major. And I was thinking about biology pre-med, so as my backup.
Okay, so that's where my first question leads. Nadine, what is something you hope to get from either the nursing major you're hoping to get into, or is there another major in mind that you really have a huge interest in?
Right now, the goal at the end for graduation stuff, I want to be a nurse practitioner. So it'd go with the bachelor's first and then work and then come back for a master's. But if that doesn't work out or I don't get in or something like that, I've been looking into biology pre-med. I guess my two career options that I really like are nursing and doctor. When I was little, I wanted to be a surgeon, so that's kind of sometimes popping in, but I don't know. It's wherever I guess I end up.
Definitely. So you're basically keeping your options open.
Yeah.
So you mentioned how when you were little, you always wanted to be a surgeon. Is that something hopefully one of these majors you take up on leads you to?
I would totally be open to it. It would be my younger self's dream accomplished. When I was little, I wanted to be a neurosurgeon, but that's definitely not something I would do now. I like the heart, so heart surgery, cardiovascular surgeon would be cool, or general surgeon because they can do a lot of other things. So if nursing doesn't work out, or if it does and I decide to just go to med school instead, I think I would pursue that. But for me, it's important that it's God's will. So
definitely,
I just pray about it, and in my opinion, if it's supposed to happen, then the door will open, and if not, that one will close, but another one will open. So I think I'll be where I need to be.
Yeah, that's a great mindset. So my main question from all of this is, how has IUN provided the proper courses for you in your freshman year?
Yes, IUN has been a lot of help with the group scholars program that I'm in. That definitely helped a lot to transition from high school to IUN. I was a little nervous at first because I went to Lake Central High School, and it's not too different from college because we have you can pick your classes kind of, and it's long classes. So the length of the class that we're in now isn't a big difference. It was more of I'm not going to know people here, and I have more freedom. I don't have someone on top of me telling me what to do. But with the group scholars program, the summer courses that we took, they definitely helped to help me find my groove and get familiar with the campus and figure out what works for me, what studying methods work here. And Professor Antoine has helped a lot with telling us who to go to for resources or providing other services that IUN has to offer that I didn't know about. And then my advisors have helped me a lot by telling me what students have said about courses that I'm either taking or planning on taking, and just helping me get a feel for what I need to be in right now.
Definitely. So how was the switch from Lake Central to IUN? So how was that switch, and how did the group scholars help you with that change?
The switch was fairly easy, actually, in my opinion. I thought it was going to be a lot harder, but it wasn't that bad. My main big switch was driving. I didn't drive in high school. I had really bad anxiety about driving, so I didn't drive. And then over the summer, I got my license. So that was the biggest adjustment I had to do, was getting to places on my own. And and just reminding myself of the homework I had to do,
Yeah.
because my mom would always have like Canvas, and like grades, and she'd be like, "Did you do this? Did you do that?" And now it's like all on me. If I tell her like, "Oh, I have to do this," she won't remember. So that full responsibility falls on me. And then, what was the second part of the question?
The second part was, how was like the group scholars helping you adjust to this new environment?
With the group scholars, it introduced me to people like you. I got to
Yeah.
meet you, and it just helped me feel more comfortable, because when I got to the summer courses, I really didn't know anyone. So it was kind of like, brand new playing field. But as I came back for the fall, I was able to see familiar faces, and it just felt more comfortable. And they also introduced us to trio and like tutoring services in case I needed help on any assignment. So that's how group scholars has helped me so far.
Okay, that's great. So you mentioned that your mom would like keep you attentive on all your assignments, and now you mentioned that you're basically on your own. How has the support between your mom or other family members continued once you made it to college?
Yeah. So my mom, she she's from Guatemala, and so she doesn't have like a high school degree or college degree, and my dad does have a high school degree, but dropped out of college. Like, he didn't finish. He just started. So they had no idea like how this worked. So they did support me as best as they could by like, she would Google a lot of things, and my dad would like ask friends and stuff. So they did support me a lot, trying to find scholarships and trying to like be there for me. And now she's just trying, I guess, to back off a little bit, because I did rely on her a lot for like elementary, middle, and high school on like when assignments were due, and like, stuff like that, like when I had practices or when I had concerts. And so right now, I think the best support she's giving me is by backing off a little bit while being positive towards me. You know what I'm saying? Like, she won't ask me about like how much homework I have and when the due date is, or trying to remind me about that. But she does ask me, like, hey, how's the stress load? Like, do you need a break? Do you want to go for a drive or something like that? She's like emotionally supporting me and like trying to keep me positive, especially when I get like super stressed out when the workload's a lot. So that's how she's been supporting me. And my dad has been trying to encourage me too, because I was undecided for a bit. So that really had me like, like really sad, and like I didn't know, I was confused. So he's been trying to be more like supportive on like trying to encourage me that it doesn't matter like what I choose, like he's gonna be there. So
Okay, definitely. So, as your parents let you, as they stepped back and let you proceed this more independently, would you consider that it has really taken effect and made you independent, or sometimes you wish you had somebody there to kind of push you the way they did before?
um I've seen both parts of that. At first I was like, yes, independency, it's
Yeah.
like great and all that. And then some assignments would slip my mind or something. So I've seen like how both of those parts have played a role in my life. I like the fact that it's made me more independent, and I have to get my assignments done. Like, I don't have another person on top of me like trying to get that assignment done by the due date or before the due date. But then there's moments in time where I'll let myself go and I'll like procrastinate a lot, and I'm like, man, if my mom knew about the assignments I had, this would have gotten done so much faster. So I've had both. I've seen both in my life so far.
Definitely. So, would you consider yourself like first generation? Because, as you stated, none of your family really reached the finish goal of college. So, would you consider yourself first generation?
Definitely. I definitely consider myself first generation, especially with the part of trying to get into college and like trying to figure out like how do I fill out the FAFSA, or like what other documents do I need, or stuff like that. Like, what technology am I going to need to like get my assignments done? With that stuff, I definitely felt like I was kind of alone. Even though they were trying to help, they had no idea what was going on. So I had to like reach to like my guidance counselor, or I got the letter from group scholars saying like you should apply. But I had to do more of that on my own, because they didn't have any experience in that. So I would consider myself a first gen.
Definitely. So, how did you discover Group Scholars? As you mentioned, they sent you a letter to apply, and was that the way, or how did you like proceed to go through with it?
It's funny because IUN was not the college I wanted to go
Really? Oh,
to.
wow.
I actually came here for a 21st century tour, which was
Uh-huh.
not what I should have come here for because I'm not a 21st century scholar. And the goal was Purdue, and I got accepted at PNW, and I
Okay.
wanted to be there for a year and then leave.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, Purdue, Purdue, Purdue. And my mom was like, you should give this one a try. So I came here and I literally walked the campus and I was like, no, I'm not going to be here.
Really?
And I prayed about it because I couldn't decide. I actually didn't decide till like the end of May where I was going to go. So I prayed about it and I was like, okay, well, God, if you really want me to go to IUN, like I need a big sign. And I got an email about the Group Scholars. That's how I found out about a Group Scholars. And then I started reading. I was like, first gen students, summer opportunities. And I was like, oh, wow, this is like a great email. So then I did the essay that it asked for and like filled out the questionnaire. And that's how I got into Group Scholars. And that's what I took the sign as, IUN.
Okay,
So that's how
great.
I found out.
So was that kind of, a sign that you should come here, or like what else made you really love IUN?
That was my major sign of coming to IUN. To be honest, it was the Group Scholars, and then once I started coming here, I really liked the campus, like walking around. I liked it more than Purdue's actually. I don't know why, but I did like it more. I like the Savannah Center a lot. I don't know. I like how it's open and like, I don't know. I really don't know how to explain it. I like it a lot more now that I'm here and that I was taking it in the summer than how I felt about Purdue.
And how would you say, the diverseness here on campus? Would you say that's another reason why you decided to come here at IUN, or is there another specific reason?
Diverseness wise, it's very diverse here. Like, and I really like that because at Lake Central it was somewhat diverse, but like there weren't a lot of Hispanics, so I'd have that one friend I'll talk Spanish to, and then those other friends that it's just straight English, So now it's nice because my Spanglish comes out, I'll be talking in English, but then I'll be talking in Spanish, and they'll completely understand, or they'll understand, like things Hispanics go through, or foods that they eat and stuff like that. So it's very diverse here, and I feel a lot more comfortable here.
Would you say that because you see other people like you, same color, same background, it made you overall just want to continue pursuing your major here, or were you kind of taken aback and be like, I'm not used to this, maybe I want to back down and go somewhere else where I'm used to, like, the environment from Lake Station, maybe I would want to discover another campus same as that?
Yeah, I felt more comfortable seeing more people that look like me and that speak like me. So that part actually made me feel really comfortable with being at IUN, because I knew that if I can't say something in like English, or like, it doesn't pop up in English, I can always go back to Spanish. And that made me feel comfortable because even if I had questions, like, or if my mom had questions and they were in Spanish, I didn't have to worry about translating them to English to get that answer. So that, I think that's one of the reasons I'm not considering going away. The only reason I did consider going away, like to Bloomington or something, was dorms, because I wanted to see other people. I wanted that dorm experience, but as I've really thought about it, I feel comfortable here. So.
And has seeing other people like from the same heritage and share the same culture help you develop friendships?
Yes, I have developed friendships a lot faster, I guess I would say, because we find more things in common, like Alessandra, or like you. We find more things in common, so we connect faster than it was over there.
Great. So I've noticed that you've mentioned a lot your religion, and you seem like a huge believer. So can you just tell me a little bit of how that started for you and why you take such a belief in your, religion?
Um, I grew up in a Christian household.
Okay.
The denomination is Pentecostal.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad grew up Christian as well because both of his parents were Christian, and my mom grew up Christian, but she wasn't like born into it like me and my dad.
Mm-hmm.
She she was probably like 7 when they converted. Her family converted,
Mm-hmm.
and I was just brought up that way. I remember going to church every Sunday, Tuesdays, and Thursdays, and always being involved in church and stuff. I was little when I decided to accept Jesus into my life, and honestly, I always say that I will fail him many times, but I haven't found a reason or I haven't found a situation where he has failed me. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Even if it's
Definitely.
like if I've gone through something difficult, he always gets me out. And
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm still a believer, if that makes sense. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying?
definitely. So, a lot of people with strong, religion would say, I wouldn't be here without,
Mm-hmm.
God. I wouldn't have achieved a lot of things without God or Jesus. Do you owe a lot of your success to, your religion and who you believe in?
I owe all of my success. I owe who I am
Mm-hmm.
to God. I don't know where I would be or if I would be here
Mm-hmm.
without him. So yeah, I owe everything to him. Where I am, how far I've gotten, all the achievements I have reached, all of it. I give him the glory.
Definitely. And that's very beautiful that you have a strong belief in your religion. And I really don't know what else to ask. I want to go a little bit into depth about like,
Mm-hmm.
um, how do you involve your faith in your everyday life and your studies and just your college life?
Definitely. It was easier when I was younger because my mom would just take me everywhere and stuff. I remember if I didn't finish homework, I would finish it during like service or something, or anything like that. I remember being at church most of the time from probably elementary, middle school to about freshman year. Sophomore year, it was a little bit difficult to include church into my schedule because I played alto saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
So band took a major part of my life. Pep band and just regular band and jazz band, that took up a lot. And a lot of the concerts would either fall on like Thursday service, or rehearsals would fall on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and so that made it a little difficult. But my mom really tried to help me with going to church, or if we don't go to church, well, we'll pray or we'll sing in the car,
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. She um she plays the Christian radio station, K-Love. So
Mm-hmm.
we listen to K-Love all the way to wherever we're going to go back home. Sometimes she'll just send me Bible verses to help me stay, connected. She'll just send me Bible verses, and then she'll be like, praying for you, my niña, or
Mm.
sending me like encouraging messages, or she'll pray for me when I'm in my lowest, and then she'll help me, like if I'm stressed out, she always tells me like God is in control, so don't worry about it, and then she'll apply like Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So that's how I've kind of found the balance. I open and look at the Bible verses of daily, and then I pray in the car. I pray like
Mm-hmm.
all the way here, all the way there. I pray before I submit my test. I pray before my assignments. I just pray. That's how I stay connected and find time that to do schoolwork, be in college, and like be part of church at the same time.
Definitely. And would you say that continuing your faith is a way of motivation and help and motivates you to go through your day, or like you said, submit assignments, get assignments done?
Definitely. It's definitely my motivation. There are so many assignments that wouldn't have been done
Mm-hmm.
if I literally wasn't praying about it, because I've noticed that when I'm not motivated, if I do pray, all of a sudden I get like this surge of like I got to get this done. It's going to get
Yeah.
done, you know? So I get this confidence. So when I do pray, I get like a good day and I get my stuff done. I've noticed that if I don't pray, I'm usually like in a bad mood and I can be like a little snarky to people.
Yeah,
So I've noticed the way it changes the way my day goes.
definitely. So I would also like to ask you, once you kind of come to terms with the career path you want to
Mm-hmm.
take, you already stated that you're very devoted in your religion, in your church life. How would you say your future aspirations or goals that you have, you could, what are some plans of giving back to either, your church life
Right.
or, just around that category? How would you give back?
Um, that's a really good question. I've actually thought about that. My mom's side of the family's in Guatemala, and my aunt, she married a pastor. So her house is above the church, kind of.
Okay.
And they do jornadas. So it's like missionary stuff. They go to like the mountains and like where people aren't reachable, and they deliver goods like toothbrushes,
Oh,
toothpaste,
wow.
water, food for like months. You know, a bunch of that stuff. And I've really thought about it. And if I do end up becoming a nurse practitioner or a doctor, I would like to go to Guatemala and go with her on these missionary trips. I don't know how long I would stay over there, but I was thinking about going over there and seeing on how I can help, or take whatever resources I have in my power to help them over there. I also thought about maybe setting up a clinic over there and being here in like the summer,
That's
over there in
beautiful.
winter. So I have thought about ways that I can incorporate it. But those are some of the ways.
Oh, that's really great. That's beautiful, honestly, that you
Thanks.
even think of like giving back. And I'm noticing that you have the heart of putting your effort into the medical field. I've noticed that a
Yeah.
lot. And it's beautiful because the medical field, I feel like, is often underestimated. I feel
Yeah.
like people think they just do it for the money, but it's actually
Mm-hmm.
because like you're a strong devoter into your religion. So your religion takes a huge motivation into this, and it makes you want to give back,
Yeah.
and not only to your family but to other people. And I think that's very beautiful. And I really hope that you find your path into either, nurse practitioner or a nurse just overall.
Yeah.
I just really hope you find that path.
Thank you.
And what would you say to students who are in the same position as you, as undecided?
Um, the best advice I could give, um, I guess, to people who believe in God like I do, I would say trust in Him.
Mm-hmm.
Just trust in Him completely. Even those who don't believe, I think I would probably say trust in Him, because that's what I've done. Trust in Him. And then also keep your mind open. Keep your mind open, because sometimes, I know this has happened to me, like I'll get so hell bent over doing something and having it go one way that I don't even realize that there was such an easier way to get there,
Mm-hmm.
or that there was a better path ahead.
Yeah.
So I would say keep your mind open, your options open, and really consider who you are, because I had to definitely take a look into who I am and how my personality fits, and like where I can apply that to, like what's important to me. So I would say really break it down to what's important to you and what you see yourself doing. Like, don't put yourself in a situation like a doctor just because of the money. Make sure that
Yes.
you have the qualities to be that doctor, and that you have that passion to be that doctor. So really do like a self-examination of like who you are, what you want out of whatever you're gonna go for, and then look at career options from there.
Definitely. And that's very great advice, not only for undecided students, but students with different majors. Another question I would like to ask would be, how would you, when you finish your years here at IUN, how would you kind of give back to IUN and the students here?
That's a great question, actually. I've never thought about that.
Mm-hmm.
I would give my sister to IUN. I literally asked her around the house. She's only in 6th grade, but I'm like, so where are you gonna go to college? And she's like, I don't know. And I'm like, IUN, IUN. That's where you should go. IUN. Tell your friends. IUN. Honestly, the only way I guess I could think of right now to give back is by telling people how great IUN is, because that's what I've done so far is like, oh, IUN has given me so many resources, and like it's just like opened my eyes to that there is a lot of opportunities. You just have to like seek them, you know? And IUN is full of opportunities. They're always offering opportunities through emails, through like flyers. You just see so many opportunities on IUN. So I just tell people, like, if you're thinking about considering like going local, do not discard IUN.
Yeah,
like really look into it, because they have a lot to offer.
Definitely. So just basically you putting, you know, your struggles aside and finding your way through IUN, you've been also helping other people find that.
Yeah.
Basically by recruiting other people, especially like your sister, like IUN. And it's great because IUN does have amazing resources, helpful resources for everyone. And I'm glad that, you know, everyone here at IUN, faculty and staff, helped you get to where you are with not only resources, but help with just overall finding your way. And I'm very happy for you.
Thank you.
Very happy for you. Okay, well, I would think that that's a great stop for the interview, talking about how you give what you know to other people to motivate them that college is always an opportunity and IUN is always an opportunity to take.
Yeah.
So I just want to say thank you very much for taking time out of your day to come here and give us some insight of you and your life, and give, you know, inspiration to other students out there who may be confused and not knowing that there are help anywhere you look for it, especially if you don't know what you want to go for. You could still go for it and find your way through that. So thank you so much for sharing your story, and I hope you continue this path here at IUN. And that concludes our interview for the Oral History Project, I Am IUN.